Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all doing fine. I hope you had a great time off. And as we get into the swing of things, and it is going to be a very hectic period for the FPL managers from starting now until the game week 16. There's I don't think there's any hold up for the players playing in the Premier League. There's gonna be fixtures. Like weekend, midweek. I'm not even sure if there's one free midweek for the players. That's how hectic it's going to get, especially for those teams which are playing in Europe. So as we get into the period of a very hectic FPL schedule. So I just like to tell you, I'd used my wildcard last game week in game week 8. Got 63 points, which was not the best, not the worst, but I was just happy with the because my team was not really set up for game week 8 due to all the suspensions and the matches getting delayed. So I had to use it 1 week earlier, as I had preempted. Then I had preempted, I must say. So this is my current team, guys. I don't intend to make a transfer, although was very tempted to bring in somebody like Madison or Salah, but I've decided to hold on to what I have and just ride out this game week because you can't have the ideal or the perfect team every week. So hey, Todd, Katani, Jackson, Smellywab, Lightrays, FPL, Sam, Barry, Brian, Girid, Fadzali, thank you so much, guys, for coming to the stream. Really appreciate it. FPL Sam says Mo Salah running down the wings. I just hope he doesn't punish me too much. I am so scared of not owning Salah. By the way, guys, this is a very, very weird opportunity to kind of captain Salah and get real gains by captaining Salah, because his expected ownership would be less than 100%. I don't see many times or in the past 4 or 5 seasons, there has been any time in which in Salah's captaincy or expected ownership has been less than 100%, so it's a very good opportunity. Brian says, hey mate, hey Brian, I hope you're doing well. Jared says, City, United, Arsenal, Spurs, even Leicester Forest. Any particular worries about the local derbies being scrappy? I mean, obviously, the derbies have a tendency to become fiesty and feisty, or a very kind of, as you say, the form kind of goes out of the window when we have a derby. So that's not a bad thing, to be honest with you, if you own FPL players from teams who are participating in the derby, as long as they don't go crazy and start taking red cards. I think if a derby is played in the right spirit, I think there's points to be had in the derby, especially from the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Harry Kane, Son. Unfortunately, Kulusevski owners, Kulusevski was injured during the international break. I think he had a hamstring, so he would not be participating. But yeah, Brian says, over just game week 9 and 10, do you prefer Trent Alexander-Arnold or Cancelo? Honestly, I think I prefer I prefer Cancelo. The thing is, if you are talking in a general sense, Cancelo hasn't been that attacking this season, especially because he's been playing on the left-hand side for most of the games. I think when Cancelo plays on the left, his creativity and his attacking threat diminishes severely. That's what I feel personally, So but I still feel that over the 2 game weeks, I think you can, because City's got Southampton. They've got Southampton next, right? I hope I'm right. Yeah, Southampton. I think I'd still go with Cancelo. Fadli says, "Because I'm currently on Trent, James, and Trippier means no Cancelo." Fadli, that's absolutely. I mean, that's in between Trent and Cancelo. But in my opinion, I think City have been looking the better team, so you can kind of go with Cancelo. That's audible. I lost my connection for a bit. I hope I'm audible now. Just give me a second and I'm gonna try to fix this. Guys, am I audible? Just please let me know. Yeah, the sound's not working. I know there's some problem with the internet here. I changed my connection. Hopefully it should work now. So Fazali says Barnes, Madison, Zaha, Salah, Andreas for the mid. I like that. To be honest with you, Barnes and Madison both. I would not double up on the Leicester. Um, you know, on the Leicester midfield. I think Madison only is enough. If you want, you can go with Justin in defense. 4.3 million. I think is a less risky strategy than going with Barnes and Madison. Leicester Forest is the derby. Didn't know that. That's kind of a derby. Yeah. Kulusevski and Isaac have done me good. Not sure if I should wildcard now. Barry, it's not about like whether you should wildcard or not, but it's about how far away you are from the team which you want, and if you're having to kind of fight fires every week, especially because of the suspension and injuries, that we cannot deal with. But if you're actually far away from the actual team you want, then you can possibly wildcard, because Game Week 9 was a really good time to wildcard. Cancelo fixture from Game Week 13 onwards is brilliant. I mean, Cancelo, even if he doesn't have a brilliant fixture, my friend, the only problem with owning Cancelo is he's got a blank in Game Week 12. Other than that, I'm absolutely fine with owning Cancelo through the difficult fixtures as well. Pope, Ward to play this game week. Yeah, that's... honestly, I mean, you can, if you want, you can play Ward, especially if you own somebody like Trippier. You can play Ward just for this game week, but he hasn't been great. Actually, he's been absolutely pathetic. So even the Leicester defense in general and their team. How many points have Leicester got? I think they're close to the bottom of the table. That's how bad they've been. So if you really want their keeper to play one game week for you, yes. Especially if you got Mitrovic and you're playing Andreas Pereira as well. You don't want too many players and too many conflicts of interest from the same game. Then you can definitely go with the Ward. Yeah. Stream lag says you're ready. Yeah, so it's fine now. Lighter says start Zuma versus Wolves at home or Trippier have Pope in goal. To be honest with you, West Ham. I mean, the West Ham defense hasn't been great either. That's the main issue. I thought about going with the West Ham defender on my wildcard, but the defense hasn't been great. And Wolves, have a threat. They do possess a threat. It's not like that they're not going to score a goal, although they've not been as potent this season. I would still go with Pope, Trippier, over Zuma. I think he's got a free kick threat, which is really, something that you should have in your arsenal. Hopefully, I won't be thinking about Solanke. Well, Solanke is a great option, especially with the fixtures that Bournemouth have. The only thing which I'm concerned about Dominic Solanke is that, Dominic Solanke is kind of, is 90 minutes nailed on striker. But the problem is the new manager, which is the interim manager. I'm not sure how attacking he's going to be playing. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. G-Red says, is Gordon bad now since Mope arrival worth to Zaha a week early or to roll? I think you can keep Gordon 1 week and you can move to Zaha the next week. I think especially because this week Crystal Palace are playing against Chelsea, so it's not an easy fixture anyway. You can keep Gordon for 1 more week, and then you can move to Zaha next week. Faz says, hi, I'm on a wildcard this week. Should I keep Martinelli? If I was on a wildcard, I would definitely keep Martinelli, my friend. It's totally kind of subjective, but if I was on a wildcard, yes, I would keep Martinelli. Let me, guys, for all of you who are on wildcard, let me show you my. I tweeted out the wildcard. Let me show you. I tweeted out 2 teams which I think are really good if you're on a wildcard this week. So this is the first team that I put out on Twitter. So this is basically from my Twitter profile, right? So Gaita, Iverson or Ward, whichever you want. I just put in Iverson because it costs 0.1 million less. But Gaita, Iverson, James, Justin, Nico Williams, Cancelo, Alexander-Arnold, Andreas Pereira, Salah, Zaha, Madison, Martinelli, Mitrovic, Haaland and Solanke. So this was the first team that I put out as a potential wildcard for Game Week 9, which looks very different to my team, which I currently have, which I just wildcarded last week. But things evolved, things change, and I think it's good to change with the times. So this is the first team that I suggested. And this is the second one that I suggested. The rest of the team is same. The only difference is in place of Alexander-Arnold, I've got Trippier here, and in place of Solanke, I've got Ivan Toney. So you can choose any of these two teams as your reference, and you can build on this team. Not saying you should copy this team. I'm saying use this as a reference and make the changes according to yourself. If you want, this is the second one, and this is the first one. So the only change is like Trippier in place of Alexander-Arnold and Toney in place of Solanke. So the rest of the team is the same. So if you're on a wildcard, I hope this helps you. I hope you use this as a reference and don't just copy the team, and make your own team which suits your temperament and your according to your liking. Anyways, back to the stream. Just a second, why can't I see the comments? Give me a second here. There you go. So for some reason the comments were not updating. So Gross to Madison and Jesus to Toney for a -4. Gross to Madison and Jesus to Toney. That looks like a good move, SD, especially for this week. The problem is, it is not like Toney's got mixed fixtures in the coming weeks up till game week 16, but the recent fixtures should be okay. So the only problem with transferring out Jesus is the ownership numbers are really high for Jesus, so that is a risk which you'll be taking. Otherwise, I think the moves look good to me. FPL Aiden says Kulusevski to Madison, Isaac to Toney for a -4. I'd say yes, FPL Aiden, that looks pretty good to me, my friend. Both the moves, because Kulusevski is injured and Isaac is also injured, so and the players which you are bringing in, I think that has an upside, and this -4 can be covered really easily, bro. I think that's a good move. Jackson says Zaha, Bailey, and Andreas whom to bench. See, Jackson, as you can see my team, I've benched Andreas because I don't want 4 players from the same match, like Mitrovic, Andreas, Trippier, Pope. I think that's a bit much in my opinion. So I put Bailey in because Leeds are an attacking team. They'll give you chances. Bailey was really pathetic last week, honestly speaking. I was kind of wondering why I put him on my wildcard, but if I own him, I guess I'll have to play him. That's just taking a chance here. I don't think there's going to be much to choose between them. I just don't want too many conflicts of interest in my team. That's the reason I'm going with Bailey. That's my reasoning, I definitely would play Zaha. If you own him, you should play him. Barry says Ederson, Trippier, Cancelo, James, Sinestra, Madison, Andreas, Martinelli, Toney, Mitrovic, Haaland, Jesus. -4. Yeah, I mean that looks good to me. Barry, if this saves your wildcard, I think it looks pretty good to me. The only problem which you'll face in your team is the game week 12 blank for Manchester City, because you've got 3 City players. You've got Martinelli, and you've got like 4 players blanking in game week 12. That's the only thing which would concern you. Otherwise, the team looks good to me for a -4. Salah is a great option this week. He's got a good record against Brighton as well. And Brighton are playing Potterless now. They don't have the Harry Potter magic wand anymore. So in my opinion, I really think Salah's going to do well. Stan says Isaac to Solanke or Isaac to Toney and Bowen to Zaha for a -4. I mean you could do just Isaac to Toney. You could wait for Bowen to Zaha for a -4 next week, because Zaha plays Chelsea. I'm not sure how much upside there is for Zaha this week. So that -4 doesn't make sense to me personally. I think Isaac to Toney or Isaac to Solanke is the move to make, and wait for the Zaha move next week. Bowen plays against Wolves, so might have a chance to score there. SD says play Perisic or Bailey. If I was you, I'd play Perisic, my friend. I think his attacking potential as well. Clean sheet, obviously, I'm not sure how much chances of a realistic clean sheet are there in the North London derby, but still Perisic I think is the better option, because he essentially is like a winger playing at wing back. Raghav says Havertz, James or Zaha. That's a tough one, my friend. I think I'd play both. which other options do you have to bench, Raghav? And he says, should I keep Haaland? Anis, I don't understand the question, bro. Beyond says, do you like the idea of going Trent instead of Cancelo and cover with Walker to make funds to have Salah instead of Son in my wildcard team? Bjorn, honestly, I would not go with Walker. Personally, I don't like the idea of having Walker in my team. Walker offers nothing in attacking sense. I think even Ruben Diaz offers more than Walker does in an attacking sense. Let me show you the wildcard team which I had posted on Twitter. Just have a look. That might help you for your own wildcard. In this way, you can have both Walker, you can have both Trent and Cancelo in your team. You can still have James Justin for all the good fixtures, Madison. I really like the look of this team. In case you really want Ivan Toney in your team, just take out Trent Alexander-Arnold, put in Trippier, and get Ivan Toney in place of Solanke. Other than that, this is the team which I suggested. Two kind of variations of the same team that I suggested on Twitter. So you can have a look, Bjorn, and take this team as a reference and starting point, and then you can change whichever players you want. For example, you don't like Gaeta, get Pope or any other keeper which you want. But this is kind of the starting point which I think is a good reference if you're still not fixed on your wildcard team. I think this might help you. Right? So you can pause the stream. Beyond, you can have a look at this. I'm gonna kind of go back to the pick team screen. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Cinema Crazy. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And he says, should I keep Jesus or move to Tony or Mitrovic? I mean, Anis, if you ask me, I think keeping Jesus for a North London derby is not a bad idea, my friend. It's not that you need to make this move, but if you feel that, if you feel Mitrovic has more upside or Tony has more upside this week, yes, Tony's playing against Bournemouth, right? So obviously, but if Newcastle weren't able to score too many goals against them, I mean, the new manager, the interim manager after Scott Parker left, is more of a defensive-minded manager in my opinion. I think he's setting up the team to defend first and attack later. So I'm not sure how much upside, how many goals Brentford will be able to score against Bournemouth, maybe 1 or 2. So I think keeping Jesus could be a good idea as well. I mean, it's not necessary to make this move, I'd say. Justin for Perisic. I mean, yes, you can do that. He's nailed on to play. Remember that Leicester is not in the best of form at this moment in time. Yes, their fixtures are good. So, if you're like week in, week out, you're kind of panicking whether Perisic is going to start or not. You don't find owning Perisic comfortable. I think you can move him on to Justin, yes. Bekalu says wildcard active. Gaeta, Trippier, Cancelo, James, Madison, De Bruyne, Martinelli, Zaha, Tony, Mitrovic, Haaland. Bekalu, I just showed the wildcard team which I had proposed, my friend. You can have a look if this helps you as a reference. Your team looks good to me as well. I think your team looks perfectly fine to me. No changes required. I'm just showing you the team which I had made as a reference for this game's wildcard. So if this helps you, you can have a look, use it as a reference. Razif says, hey Viz, one to start, so far Andreas or William? William means Saliba? The Arsenal fans have got this very catchy kind of, tune, the tequila tune about Saliba. Na 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 na. It's very, very catchy. Anyways, so if I had to start one out of these, I'd say Andreas. Andreas would be my first choice. So far, second. The third one would be William, obviously, Saliba. And he says 3 to play from Gabriel, Nico Williams, Trossard, Bailey, Andreas. Gabriel, I possibly would not start in this game. Andreas, Bailey, and Trossard. I always prefer the attacking players over the defender. It's just the mindset. I think it's wired in my brain. The rules which I follow, in FPL, I think my answers automatically come out of the rules which I actually keep following. I always prefer the attacking player. Like, I just gave an answer to play Bailey over Perisic a few comments back, but essentially I view Perisic as an attacking player. I don't even view him as a defender. But otherwise, I always recommend to start the attacking players over the defenders. After says I was thinking of getting in Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is good. I really like him as an option, my friend. He's done nothing wrong, like to kind of suggest that Jota is gonna take his place if Jota's fit now, or he's gonna not get many minutes. I think Luis Diaz is a perfectly good option. If you're on a wildcard, I think you can definitely, in place of somebody like Madison or Zaha, you can definitely pick Luis Diaz and have a good enough Liverpool cover. Shane says, Jesus out or not to get Madison. Got 2 free transfers. Do not feel like I need to use them. Shane, I think getting Madison for these upcoming fixtures definitely has an upside. I would like to say this. So if you look at these fixtures, which Leicester has or have, Bournemouth, Palace, Leeds, Wolves. I mean, there is an upside in owning a Leicester player, especially Madison, who looks to be in really good goal-scoring form since the end of last season. So Gabriel Jesus, obviously you're playing against the expected ownership because so many people own Gabriel Jesus. Other than that, I don't see any downside. So I think that's not a bad ploy, especially if you've got 2 free transfers and you've got nothing else to fix in your team, no fires to put out. Then you can play for the upside. You can a little bit take a little risk for high reward. I think that is a possibility. Sharon says, sell Tony or Martinelli to get funds for Trent. I'm on a wild card. Guys, how can I post? Let me just type a wildcard team and pin it here, the one which I suggested, so everybody can have a look, right? Gaita, Ward, Cancelo, Justin. I'm gonna type a wildcard team which I had suggested, guys. So anybody who's on a wildcard can have a look and kind of take it as a reference, because every time I'm having to kind of change the page, so it's better that I should just pin the comment here. I should type the team here and pin the comment here. Madison, Zaha, Andreas. Who was the 5th one? Martinelli, obviously. Martinez. Sorry guys if I'm not answering your questions. Just typing this team out. Gonna take me a second, but I think we're gonna be Mitrovic and Solanke. Reference wildcard team. There you go. I'm gonna pin this message, guys. I'm gonna end the poll, by the way. Obviously many people who are voting for Haaland, obviously they don't own Salah, so I like that Madison's got 13% votes still. It's pretty interesting, to be honest with you. Zuma or Justin for this game week? Justin. Definitely Justin. I think Justin's got the upside of the attacking potential as well as having a clean sheet this week. If you own Justin, I think you play him. Zuma, not sure if West Ham are going to keep a clean sheet against Wolves. I'm not sure, because I don't know. I don't think West Ham have started the season really well. Although they made really great signings, I still don't feel that they've started the season really well. By the way, guys, I would like to take you to Fantasy Football Fix for a second here. I would like to show you this new feature that Fantasy Football Fix has introduced. I think this helps you decide a captain. They used machine learning algorithm, here to predict, or to kind of detect the effective ownership of a player, EO, especially of a captain. So as you can see, according to Fantasy Football Fix, I'm not going to be able to show you this every week because I'm not sure if is it right, because this is a kind of behind the paywall. But I just would like to show you at least for this game week, so you can have a look here. First of all, thanks to Fantasy Football Fix for sponsoring our streams and letting us use their data. So as you can see, Haaland has got amongst top 10k. Like you see 100% captaincy. I'm not sure if this is correct, but I mean top 100k managers, 77.6 effective ownership, 177. So this week Haaland is effectively winning the captaincy battle easily. If you're betting against Haaland, you're betting against the effective ownership. But look at the upside which Salah's offering. You captain Salah against Brighton. I mean, look at top 100k here. Effective ownership 23.9. You will gain a lot if Salah fires and Haaland doesn't. That is the way of going against the crowd. Next is Kane. I'm not sure why he has still people are captaining him in the North London derby. I think Haaland and Salah are much better options than Kane, but still he has an effective ownership of 26.9%. Look at Maddison, guys. Top 100k, 71.6. Like people, I'm gonna get absolutely killed if Maddison performs tonight. I'm so scared of not owning Maddison. Major fear of missing out. Otherwise, the captaincy is 4.5%, but the effective ownership, my word. These are the most of the people who were on wildcard last week or this week. Kevin De Bruyne is the fifth one. How accurate were your projections? Yeah, not bad. Let's see the predictions. So they predicted in game week 8, they predicted Haaland to be captained, let's say 85% in the top 100k, and the actual percentage was 87. They predicted 80%, it was 55. This was different, a lot of variance. This was almost, they got it correct here, top 100k. This was obviously wrong. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but at least it gives you certain amount of idea, and they keep updating the algorithm after every 10 minutes, so you'll keep getting updated numbers here. So this is a very good feature. I mean, if you have fantasy football fix, I think you can use this feature. No plugging, no discount codes, just just telling you can use this feature, by the way. Trent replacements. Trent replacement is you mean like for like? In the Liverpool defense, I would not go for anybody else except Trent in the Liverpool defense. Otherwise, I think Cancelo is good, Trippier is good, Reece James is good. These are the ones which have got attacking threat. James Justin, for the upcoming weeks is a good option as well. Sharon says, is Gaita a better option than Pope in the long run? Surprised everyone favors Gaita, even though Pope gets tons of bonus and save points. He costs 0.7 million less than Pope. Second, you're not getting him for the long haul, as in you're not getting him for until a very long time. You're only getting him until game week 16, because after that you get a wild card or you get unlimited transfers when the players come back after the World Cup. So it's essentially only until for the next 7 game weeks that you're getting Gaita. If he keeps 3 clean sheets, I think your work is done. Second, if you're in a wild card, I would not spend too much time thinking about goalkeepers, because goalkeepers have the least ceiling. If you check the difference between the top scoring midfielder and the 10th top scoring midfielder, the difference is going to be humongous. But if you check between the top scoring goalkeeper and the 10th highest scoring goalkeeper, the distance between the points would not be that much, because the goalkeepers, they rarely get double-digit points, So the ceiling is not that high. On the other end, the midfielders have the highest ceiling, because they get 1 more point for a goal, they get clean sheet point as well, they have a more chance to get bonus points. So you have to focus your priorities when building your wildcard. Don't spend too much time thinking about the keepers. In the end, just pick the one which you like. If your budget suits Pope, you can definitely go with Pope. If your budget is not allowing you to stretch for Pope, just pick another one. Pick Raya, pick Gaeta, and be done with it. Pickford, some people are going for Pickford as well. So animations say Ward and Iverson on my wildcard to better my bench. Worth it? I don't think it's worth it, animations. Although they've got good fixtures, but Leicester defense is not the kind of defense that I mean, you can definitely go with it. I personally don't like the idea too much. I thought about it on my wildcard as well. They don't have any other keeper, but they've got 1 point from the first 7 games, Leicester. So I'm not sure if you really want too many players from the Leicester team on your wildcard. Shane says Trent and Martinelli out for Trippier and Madison. Yep, that's perfectly fine, Shane. I think that's getting Madison is definitely has an upside. Zara says, have one free transfer. Should I do Isaac to Tony or KDB to Salah or roll the transfer? Oof, this is a difficult one. I think Isaac to Tony makes more sense because Isaac is out for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. So at least, and Tony is playing against Bournemouth. So if you want Tony, this is the week to get him. KDB to Salah, obviously you can. It would be ideal if you could make both the transfers, but if I had to choose one, I'd say Isaac to Tony. Havis start Walker Peters or Bailey. Southampton are playing against Everton. I mean, Kyle Walker Peters does offer a little bit of an attacking threat, but how much? This is a touch and go decision, George. A difficult one because technically we prefer the attacking players against Leeds. I think Bailey can get some returns if he finally gets his head down and starts playing like the Bailey we know. But this is a tough one, my friend. I think you can. This is one where you can make an exception and start Walker Peters because he does offer something in attack and could also get a clean sheet because Everton... Is Calvert-Lewin back, by the way? Just let me check my predicted lineups. Give me a second. Calvert-Lewin. Mope is obviously injured. Is he? No. No. Mope is absolutely fit. Yeah, I think there's a touch and go, George. If I was you, I would possibly think about playing Bailey, here just because he offers an attacking threat. He's a winger, and Aston Villa need him to perform. And he scored a really good goal against City, but was absolutely pathetic last week. So, but again, the logic of picking the attacking player is still holds for me. Although against Southampton he was subbed at 66 minutes. It's touch and go. I don't think there's going to be much difference between their points come the end of the game week. Only issue with my hey Jugs, I hope you're doing fine, my friend. Animation says only issue with my benches. I've got Emerson, who I'm not sure starts. Yep, Emerson cannot play every 3 days because they're gonna have games Thursdays, Sundays. I don't think Emerson's gonna play a lot of the games. So if you got Emerson on your wild card, it's better to have some cover. If Emerson is your cover. Sharon says get Solanke as a bench enabler, or get to a 4.3 million striker and spend fund. Solanke cannot be a bench. If you're spending 5.7, he cannot be an enabler. Enabler means the cheapest player in that particular position. Solanke is not an enabler. Solanke is 5.7 million. If you get him, you'll have to play him in certain games. Otherwise, if you kind of spend 5.7 million on Solanke and you want to put him on the bench, then in my opinion that doesn't make sense. Get Solanke only if he's a part of your starting 11 in most game weeks. Otherwise not. Sylvester says, do you think Nunez will start? Just let me quickly check. Nunez. Yeah, but they say he's got fatigue because he played in the international break. So I think Firmino might start and Nunez might come on later if need be, if Liverpool can't score goal, or if they're struggling, then Nunez might come on. I don't think he's gonna start, in my opinion. Rohit says, hi bro, budget mid pick. Rohit, what's the budget? Like, is it like, if it's around 8 million, then obviously Madison. If it is less, you can think about Harvey Barnes as well. Leicester got really good fixtures, my friend. Sagar says Perisic to Justin is a good one. Sagar, you can do it. I mean, I would, if I had Perisic in my team, I would have no problem keeping him because the upside with Perisic is really huge, you know. And he's starting most of the game weeks, and when he does start, he offers lot of upside. Does Perisic? So, but if you want to target the Leicester defense, you feel they can keep clean sheets against Nottingham Forest and the upcoming fixtures. Yes, you can do that. Save some money. Start Ward or Ederson. I would start Ederson, my friend. If you have Ederson, you start Ederson. Whom to start, Ward or Iverson? You can put anyone, Fez. It doesn't make a difference because one of them is going to start, and if he doesn't start, the one on the bench comes in. DCL is flagged, obviously, yes, but he's coming back to good fitness. Should be available soon, I'd say. Bailey or Saliba, who to bench? I would bench Saliba. I think Tottenham have a chance to score against Arsenal. Kane plus Zaha or Son plus Mitrovic on wildcard. See, Ashish, the thing is, I like the Kane plus Zaha combination better. But the problem is, if you get Kane plus Zaha, then to get to somebody like Salah, you'll have to take a hit. You know. On the other hand, if you take Son plus Mitrovic, then you can simply kind of move Son to Salah, or kind of, you know, it's easier to transition. But you know, I see Kane to Zaha combination better. To be honest with you, even if you're picking Kane plus Zaha, that should not mean that you should not pick Mitrovic. I think Mitrovic and Haaland are the two kind of strikers which should be on your wild card, and the third striker is the position in which you should be questioning. I think leaving out Mitrovic at 6.9 million is not is not desirable in my opinion. I'm not trying to force my opinion on you, but in my opinion, Haaland and Mitrovic are the ones to go for, and the third striker spot is open for debate. You can go for Tony, you can go with, you know, Solanke, you can go with anybody, like, you know, Gabriel Jesus, whichever you want to. That's just my opinion. Wildcard Justin or Zuma? Justin. I would go with Justin. Will Rodrigo start? Says Tariq. I get in Zaha or Rodrigo for Kulusevski. Rodrigo, let me see. I don't think Rodrigo's going to start, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's expected to return, you know, like, I think Jesse Marsh, in his press conference, he said, he said that he expects to return to the squad, but not sure about starting. You know, it's difficult. I think Rodrigo is a good option, but safer option is Zaha, because Zaha also has some good fixtures upcoming. So rather than taking a risk with Rodrigo, you can get Zaha. And then if, like, Rodrigo starts playing well again, coming back into form, you can easily switch from Zaha to Rodrigo. Sylvester says, thanks. You're welcome, my friend. Junaid says, play Zaha or Justin. I would play Zaha if you own him. I mean, if you want to play Justin, you can play him in place of somebody else. But if you own Zaha, I'd still feel at Selhurst Park, I think Crystal Palace are a really good team. Zaha's been playing really well this season. I mean, you know, I'd still play him. If you own him, you play him. He's done well, you know, especially in the home games you can see here. Obviously against Arsenal was the first game, but Liverpool away he scored, Aston Villa he scored, he didn't play against City, you know, so essentially he's just blanked in 2 of the games. Otherwise he's doing really well. I think you should start Zaha, in my opinion. Captain Maddison or Haaland? This is $1 million question. If you captain Haaland, you're going with the crowd. If you captain Maddison, you're going for a very good differential and have a chance to get a lot of upside with Maddison. The only problem will be if, you know, the only problem with you, like for you, is if Haaland scores a lot and Maddison blanks. I don't see a lot of chance of Maddison blanking in this one. So you can definitely, if you want to take a chance, you can take a chance. I mean, it's not like Haaland is playing against Nottingham Forest, you know, it's playing against United. So it's not going to be an easy game. All the people are bigging up like Haaland to kind of bully Martinez. I don't think it's going to be that black and white. It's not only the height of the player that determines whether he actually wins the duels or not. I think Martinez did really well against Haaland when they played each other, when Haaland used to play for Borussia Dortmund and Martinez used to play for Ajax. I think he coped with Haaland really well in that game in the Champions League. So it's not that black and white, but you know, it's totally up to you. Ashish says I've gone with Solanke over Mitrovic, and the 2 other forward are like Kane and Haaland. It's Salah, Madison, Zaha, Martinelli in middle. So you've got Kane, Haaland, and Salah. Wow, nice. It's kind of the same team as the one which I chose last week, in which I actually chose KDB, Kane, and Haaland. Honestly, I feel this. You can ignore Kane if you want, and you can update your midfield. But yeah, this is a good team, my friend. I don't think there's any wrong. It's different, but it's not nothing wrong with doing that. I like that team a lot, actually. And I like the fact that you're making a differential decision to most of the people on wildcard this week. Elron says, how do you feel about Pickford and Begovic on wildcard? I would like them on wildcard. The problem is the upcoming fixtures, which are like the next few fixtures, are not the best. Like, for example, Manchester United, Tottenham, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. I expect them to concede in these games. Otherwise, after this, these fixtures are the ones which I might. Crystal Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham. These are the ones in which I really want to own Pickford. But the next 3 or 4 fixtures, I expect them to concede. And that is the reason I personally didn't go for Pickford, my friend. M. Gassami says, shall I play Andreas or Perisic? If you have Mitrovic, you can actually take a chance and start Perisic. The thing is, why I am not playing Andreas Pereira is because I've got Pope, I've got Trippier, I've got Mitrovic. I don't want to play 4 players from the same match in which 2 players are playing for one team, 2 attackers against 2 defenders. It's like a conflict of interest in my case. Otherwise, you can play... but if I had Andreas and Perisic, I would start Perisic. Anis says, start Trossard or Bailey. That's such a tough one, but... The thing is, it's hard for me to comment on Brighton, guys. I've not seen them play without Graham Potter. It's very hard for me to say how they're going to set up, how they're going to play, what's going to happen there. Because the thing is, when Graham Potter left, Brighton had a blank in that week, So basically, we've not seen them play. It's very difficult for me to comment on this one. And he's honestly, because I've got no data to go on. I've got no eye test to go on either. But if I had to start one, I'd play Trossard. I'm seriously considering Tsimikas. Fadzali, if you want to book a Liverpool spot for Tsimikas, you can. If Robertson doesn't start 1 or 2 game weeks, that is absolutely okay. But eventually, and I know that Robertson is going to come back in the team, and Tsimikas is just going to go back to being a player who comes off for the last 15-20 minutes. So if you want to take that risk and later on you want to book your Liverpool spot, that could be a little bit of a spot of bother for you. Shall I transfer Isaac out? Isaac should be out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, essentially you can if you want. Madison captain, yeah, that's a great ploy, my friend. I wish I had him. If I had Madison, I would not captain him. I would captain Haaland still. But having Madison is a very, very, has a great upside. Unfortunately, you guys are just, increasing my FOMO with the captaining Madison. Fazli says 18 more minutes and I'm yet to set on my wildcard. Fazli, if you have any doubts, let me know. You can use my reference wildcard. I've pinned the comment on top of the chat. You can have a look, my friend. If you have any specific doubts, ask me the questions. But don't leave it too late. I would suggest you lock your team at least with 5 minutes to go for the deadline. That's just my opinion. Let me have a drink of water. Just give me a sec. Yeah, I'm back, guys. Sorry, that was kind of a shameless plug for an ad, but I was just trying something. And I was also having a drink of water. So yeah. Barry says Madison captain. I think Haaland has a high chance of blanking. I don't think the chance of Haaland blanking has anything to do with him playing against Manchester United, my friend. I think he's in a form of his life. The way City are playing, I think it helps Haaland a lot. So, but if you want to go with Madison captain this week, I think this is the week to do it, because Madison is a really good differential playing against a team which is like the worst defense in the league. So yeah. Ari says Saka out, Zaha in, Isaac out, Tony in. Why not just Isaac to Tony for this week and play Saka and get Zaha next week, if that's possible. Hey Wiz, what is the best goalkeeper on wildcard, says Michael. Michael, I like Gaeta, I like Pope. These are the two I really like. on wildcard. Some people are considering Fabianski. I don't feel he's worth Fabianski and Martinez from Aston Villa and Fabianski from West Ham. I don't feel they're worth it. I think Gaeta is better than them because he's cheaper. Otherwise, then the obvious one is Pope. Best Isaac replacement. I think Ivan Toney or Dominic Solanke. Dominic Solanke because of the fixtures, Ivan Toney because of his form and fixtures. Ashish says, if you have Salah, Haaland and Maddison, whom will you captain? I would captain Salah. If I had Salah, Haaland and Maddison, I would captain Salah. 100% I would captain Salah. As you know, guys, I'm always... If I have the Egyptian king, he's my captain. You said to play my own game. I'm very much set on my midfield. Barnes, Zaha, Maddison, Salah, Andreas. The other positions to consider is Solanke or Toney, Trent, Cancelo, and the goalkeeper. Out of Solanke and Toney, I think if you can afford Toney, go with Toney and Cancelo. If you have Salah, I don't think you need Trent. You can go with Toney and Cancelo, and the goalkeeper, as I already told you, Pope, Gaeta are my personal favorites, but you can choose. Best Isaac replacement, Solanke or Toney. Salah, KDB, Son. Which one should I choose for my wildcard team? Salah. Always Salah. When in doubt, go with Salah, my friend. You know, although he doesn't have the best of fixtures, like until 13. But if you can own Salah this week, I think it's a good own. I think it's absolutely good to own him. Semi says, who's sub out for Ivan Toney, Perisic or Sofal or Trippier? I think Sofal, my friend. The least attacking of all the defenders that you mentioned. I would put Sofal out and I would put Ivan Toney in. Right. So guys, let's see if we have any team news on Twitter. I don't. By the way, I thought about doing this thing here, in which I could actually show you this jump the wave predictions. I think for anybody who's who's doubtful as to which players are starting for which team, Emma Jump the Wave on Twitter, she does predictions from the fans. So this is the predicted Chelsea team by the fans, which is going to start. Broya, guys. Broya from Chelsea. Graham Potter, I think he really likes Broya. So, I mean, commentary on Manchester United. I want to show you the real City ones. Yeah, exactly. So I want to show you the City ones. So you can see here, Akanji is gonna start. Fans think Grealish 80%, Haaland 100%, Foden. So anybody who owns Foden should be convinced, because all the fans are convinced he's going to start. So you should have a look at these predictions, guys. Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Walker, they all nailed on to start. Rodri. So, Liverpool, as you can see, Henderson, Elliott, fans are confused. Firmino, Jota, Darwin, fans are confused. Luis Diaz, fans are convinced. 100% Salah, fans are convinced. Thiago, Fabinho, Tsimikas, 100% fans are convinced that Tsimikas is going to start. The reason why Fadli was saying he wants to go with Tsimikas. This is the Chelsea team. Where's Sterling? Yeah, Sterling is expected to start. Broya, not so much. 26% only. Sterling is 98%. Havertz 80%, and so on. So guys, from next time onwards, I'm going to do this a little bit before the deadline. I'm going to show you these predictions on my stream. I think this can help people if I keep showing these predictions here. Anyways, let me get back to answering the questions, because I don't think we have time for this. Where's the questions? Yeah, Vicky says, is it worth taking a -4 to bring in Madison for Kulusevski? I think it's worth it, yes. Played my wildcard last week. I can do Isaac to Toney or play Kyle Walker-Peters and roll. Preferring the latter at the moment. George, to be honest with you, Isaac is out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, in which he's going to suffer, I think, 1 or 2 price drops. As well, I think Toney's got Bournemouth. So I see the upside if you do Isaac to Toney this week. I think I see the upside there. You can definitely play Kyle Walker-Peters, but just think about it. Who's going to score more points this game week? Just on the basis of predicted points. I think Toney is easily outperforms Kyle Walker-Peters in this game week. Because Isaac I would keep if he was like gonna come back next week, but I think he's out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. If I was you, I would go Tony. I would even go Solanke. The point would be to take out Isaac. Elron says, how badly do you think Salah will punish you? Well, obviously I think Salah can easily score a goal or two against Brighton, but then I've got KDB. I'm hoping he can perform. If he doesn't, then so be it, because I think Salah's fixtures are not the easiest after this game week. They've got Arsenal, Manchester City, so the fixtures are becoming difficult, right? So that is the reason I'm not owning Salah. If I had to own him for just this game week, then I was definitely go with Salah. Lee says, hi, I'm concerned that up to 5 games might be postponed next week due to rail strikes. Lee, I understand your concern, my friend, but the thing is, are we in a situation to kind of control these happenings? We could not control, like, after the Queen, due to the Queen's funeral, a lot of games were scheduled to be postponed. Due to the rail strikes, some games were postponed. We cannot do much about it, my friend. We can only play what is in front of us. So I think just pick the best team which you can, and in case many games are postponed, it is going to be the same for all the FPL players. So it's not like that you're the only one who's going to be affected, bro. So let's just take it in our stride and see what is to be done when and if something happens. Until then, let's rock and roll, brother. Sammy says, isn't Sofal going to keep a clean sheet? He might keep a clean sheet, my friend, but he is the least attacking of all the players you mentioned. Trippier is attacking, Perisic is attacking, so, I mean, that is my preference. I always prefer the attacking threat. Clean sheet is just an added bonus. In 90 minutes, one mistake and you can lose your clean sheet. And if you're getting a player only for the clean sheet, what are you going to watch the game for the next 60 minutes? Just sit there and kind of, watch the players stroll through the game for the next for the leftover time and getting only 2 points. So I always like the attacking players, attacking defenders. Todd says, lock your team and hit the like button. Guys, we've got 5 minutes to go. I want everybody to lock your teams. Please just go and lock your teams. And he says, why play Bailey ahead of Nico Williams, who's got a better attacking threat? I'm just taking a chance, my friend. Yeah, Nico Williams, you can play, but I think Bailey can do something. If he can score against Manchester City, it was a great goal he scored, but he's an on and off kind of a player. If he has an on day, I think Bailey can do some damage against Leeds, who are not the best defensively. So I'm hoping Bailey has a good day. Otherwise, I think Gerrard is going to be in a lot of pressure to keep his job. So I think he's going to try and win the game. So let's hope for the best. Whew. Elron says, up the workers. Yeah, right. I think KDB can match Salah until game week 16. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm getting Salah after game week 11. After that Manchester City game, I think Salah is going to be in my team in game week 12. No matter what happens, even if I think KDB can match Salah, I think Salah will be in my team in game week 12. That's just a given. I'm not sure how long I can survive without Salah in my FPL team. It's not because I don't feel KDB can match him. It's just because of my nerves. I just, FOMO's going to kill me. That's the reason. And I think Salah has good fixtures starting game week 12 as well. United says, hey, is captaining Maddison over Haaland a bad decision? I don't think it's a bad decision, my friend. I think it's a perfectly okay decision. It's a good decision. If you want to go for a differential, I think this is the week to go for it. Lee says, hi Wiz, who to start, Perisic or Nico Williams? Lee, personally, I would start Perisic. I think all the fans expect him to start. Paul O'Keefe tweeted yesterday he expects him to start. And I think Perisic, when he starts, he plays more like a winger than a defender. And I think in the absence of Kulusevski on that particular wing, I think Perisic will be even more attacking. So, I think Perisic has a lot more avenues to score a goal than this Nico Williams. That's just my opinion, my friend. Start Ward or Pope? Gasemi, that's totally up to you, my friend. It depends. If you have Trippier, you can take a chance and start Ward. If you want to diversify, the risk, then you can actually, if you already have Trippier, then you can don't want to double up on the defense and you own Mitrovic as well. You can start Ward, definitely can. United says, do Perisic to James or save a transfer. I mean, getting James this week is not the most important. You can save a transfer. You can see if you want James next week as well, because Perisic is going to start against Arsenal according to most of the Tottenham fans, so why not play him? Gasemi says, I'm going to captain Haaland over Maddison, but definitely going to regret it. It doesn't matter. I think if you own Maddison, you're covered for his points. The problem is people like me who don't own Maddison are the ones which have the real FOMO, because I think he's going to do well against Nottingham Forest. I really do. I think he's a big miss in my team. Unfortunately, didn't have a way to bring him in. Guys, 3 minutes remaining. Let's lock the teams. Let me refresh my own team and just show you my final team here. So Pope, Cancelo, Trippier, Reece James, Zaha, Leon Bailey. For the love of God, score once while you're in my team. So I owned Bailey for these weeks. Didn't do anything. I transferred him out. He got an assist against Palace. Then I again got Bailey against Southampton. I hope he does something for the love of FPL. Vice captain Mitrovic or Trent? Todd, if you are captaining Haaland, I don't think there's actually a need kind of to consider, but I'd say Mitrovic. Just don't vice captain the player who plays on the same day. That's a very basic one. Ward play versus Forest. I think so, yes. Ward is going to play against Forest. You're right. Sam Martin on Twitter, who actually does these predictions, he actually said that he expects Ward to start. If Ward doesn't perform well, he has a chance to get dropped for Iverson. But I think this game week Ward is going to start. Saka to Maddison. Why not? But only 1 minute remaining. Do what you have to do and be quick. Please don't miss the deadline, guys. This is not the time to be asking questions. This is the last minute and this is the time to lock your teams. I've been here for the last 1 hour answering your questions. Please just lock your teams. FPL Sam says Barn 16-pointer locked. FPL Sam, you've got this knack of picking these players, and I wish you all the best on your wildcard, my friend. Alazar says Zaha or Sofal. Zaha, lock your team. Zaha, please lock your teams, guys. Please. Don't leave it till the last minute. It's not good for the heart. I remember last week I was on a wild card and the last minute I had my team locked and I was sweating over somebody else's wild card. I mean, listening back to that stream, it feels really weird and funny. I mean, sweating over somebody else's wild card last minute in the deadline on a live stream feels really funny. So we're past the deadline. The Maddison FOMO is real, guys. It's absolutely real. But there's nothing what I can do to control that FOMO anymore. Let's see what happens. I've seen people who are tripling up on Leicester. They've got Barnes, they've got Maddison, they've got Justin on their wild cards. And I ain't even got to one player from Leicester, so it's not gonna be pretty. Got in Tony for Isaac last minute. In before Kyle Walker-Peters' goal and clean sheet. George, I think you made the right decision. Even if Kyle Walker-Peters scores a goal and a clean sheet, I think the decision was right. We only have to make the decisions. The outcome is not in our control, my friend. Lightray says wildcard streams are intense. Thank God we only have like 2 wildcards in the season. Otherwise, it would be really tough. Good luck, Smelly Wab. I hope you do well, my friend. So guys, I hope you had fun. Today was a really healthy stream. I felt we got through a lot in the space of this 1 hour. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do predictions today. I have some really important business to tend to. So barely managed to get this deadline stream in, and had been researching since the last 2 days. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you. I think there's a lot of FPL content to be consumed over the coming few weeks, because there's going to be midweek games. There's going to be really intense a few game weeks of FPL coming up. So I hope you're ready and geared for So fasten your seatbelts, and I will be back with another deadline stream before the Game Week 10 deadline. Until then, guys, just take care and have fun, and I'll see you very soon. Until then, take care, have a great game week. May the arrows be green.